Now, Ruby, hit my line. I gotta talk to you about something. I got good news for you, mama. Shout out to all of my Virgos. You did Virgo season. I see y'all. I see y'all. Y'all real deep outside. Y'all outside. Virgos is outside. Blessings, blessings. Tell me how y'all like the artwork. We put the frames on them. Tell me how that look. That's fire. And we got the other one right there. Tell me how that look. I'm going to show y'all the artwork before the day is over. But yeah, we officially lit right now. Shit going crazy. Frames, yeah. I'm officially an artist. I'm back in the game. Yeah. Art Basel. We're going to call it Heart Basel. This is for the love of the culture. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm on my Picasso shit. Call me Felipe Picasso, not Pablo Picasso. I'm Felipe Picasso. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm Jean Paul Rasquiet, not Basquiat, Ratchiet. Yeah, I'm not playing with this shit. Remember, the food, the art, the clothes. You know what I mean? We did the clothes. We did the food. We got to do the clothes. We got to do the tech. And then we got to do the shelter, the moorland. You feel me? Yeah, Felipe Picasso and his biatch. You know what I'm talking about? Remember, this artwork that I have, right? This artwork that I have. And I got it appraised, right? I got it appraised by somebody who's lit in the art world. Shout out to A.A. Rashid because his network of contacts is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. The God got the contacts in the art world. He told me that the new perfection in the art world, bliss up, Shaka, bliss up to the God. He told me that the new perfect in the art world is imperfect. So, you see the watermarks right here on the picture, right? You see the watermarks on the picture? You see the authenticity? You see all of that stuff? That's the new value right now. Because of AI, right? Because of AI. Because you can't really prove that you drew something anymore. So the new perfect is whatever imperfections that you could show in your original work. Don't clean it up. Don't Photoshop it. Have that shit looking gritty, like a RZA beat. You know what I'm saying? Like RZA from Wu-Tang. That's how you do it. The new perfect is imperfect. You got to show the watermarks. You feel me? You got to show the watermarks. You got to show proof of work. So this is proof of work. This says 1990. PTM, which are my initials. Philip Thomas Moreland, right? Yes, authenticity is the new value. It's a new value asset and whatnot. It's a value metric. If you could show proof of work through authenticity, especially in nostalgia, because hip hop is 50 years old, you got yourself a multi-million-dollar product right here. This right here is my masterpiece. This is gonna put me in the multi-millions right here. Look, what does it say on the top? Fear of a Black Planet. I drew this in 1990, mind you, right? This is a snapshot of one of the most prolific human beings on the planet right now. This is a snapshot of what my mind was on in 1990. You understand? This got me seen in the social, who was that? The social worker in school wanted to talk to me when they saw this artwork right here. I'm going to show you the one that really got me called to the dean's office. But this is what hip hop was doing for me. This is all hip hop. Look. Ancient Kemet, RBG, Red, Black, and Green, and you woke niggas, Flavor Flav, all right? I said, it's a black thing. You wouldn't understand, G. It's a black thing, G. You wouldn't understand. Ha, ha, ha. Come to find out whole time, this nigga becomes the face of coonery on VH1 and brings upon reality television. And reality television is what's shaping your reality today. That's what reality television has done. Reality television has shaped your reality. You feel me? And put you in a whole new, quote unquote, multiverse. Put you in a whole fucking matrix. Keep in mind, the attitude, the persona, the mind state. Peace to the God, Al-Kibalon 44 cooking. Yo, shout out to give Al-Kibalon some love in the chat room, y'all. The God is here. The ones that all of these things. Salam, Allah about witness. All of these things are very, very instrumental. Okay? All of these things. Shout out to Hip Hop Rap T. You dig? So it's like if we pay attention to what's going on around us right now, if we pay attention to the way that the world is moving right now, if we pay attention to the signs around us, keep in mind, in the last 7 days, where my Moors at? We shout out to Al-Kibalon for being on the front line teaching and whatnot. For all of my Moors and my Moabites and whatnot, we need y'all to be a little more active. Because a lot of things are taking place that Moors should be talking about. Like the earthquake in Morocco, like the flood in Libya, like everything that's going down in Turkey, right? It's all relatable. And I'm like, y'all be missing your time. But going back to the artwork before I forget, right? Sometimes they say that you could predict the future, right? Sometimes they say that you could put yourself in the future. You know what I'm talking about? And this is something that we were doing all the way in 1990. This is before certain people was even born. But I'm just here to let you know, this is not me being different. This is what hip hop was doing for us. We was woke in 1990, y'all. This is proof of it right here. You feel me? This is proof of it right here. We was getting the lessons. We knew what red, black, and green was. We knew red with the red and the black and the green with the key. You sissies. Ha ha. That was a famous saying and whatnot. We had Malcolm X fever in 1990. We was into that shit, bro. What the fuck had happened? You know what I'm talking about? What had happened to put us to sleep? I mean, we have a lot of, and we got diagnoses. We got a lot of answers for it. I could go on for days as to what happened. Shaka Bars, if you're in the building, send a request. Pull up real quick. We got Ross Ben in the building. We got Ross Ben in the building today as a special guest. Shout out to Ross Ben. This is going to be a powerful. He got things that he's doing, and we're going to bring it to the awareness of the people. And we're going to talk about the Star Nation revelations on today's show, because this whole, in the past 7 days, a lot of things have happened around the world to garner the attention of everyone, right? Rightfully so. They're claiming that we have made contact with the alien life species. And what does that mean in hindsight? What that means, if it is true, if it remains to be true, right? And this we shall see and whatnot, right? But if it is true, what it means is we currently exist in a reality where man, or for that matter, mankind and human, are no longer the most dominant species on the planet. And we're assuming that these two aliens are the only ones that are on the planet, and these two are dead. So that means that there's nothing alive on the planet that's more superior and more quote unquote dominant than the white man. And I call bullshit, and we know that that's bullshit. And we're going to allow ourselves to say bullshit, 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 right? We know that there are multiple life forms that are on this planet. Some are walking right by you right now, and you can't see them because you can only see 10% of the light spectrum, you arrogant human. You have no way of knowing what is around you. You don't even see the signals that are leaving your phone. You arrogant human. Your eyes are not equipped to even see the intelligence that's beaming from the Bluetooth or the radiation for that matter. You don't know about the entities that are surrounding you. Like a huddle as you speak to the people. And when they be like the ancestors are speaking through you. If you tap in, they're going to walk right through you. They'll mount you. Okay? Because they exist all around you. What did they say? They're on the tip of your nose. You know what I'm talking about? Let's stop thinking that everything is outside of self. But before I bring my guest on, this is the picture that had these people talking about maybe red pill needs therapy. But let me add to the context of what made this picture come into fruition. And, maybe this reality was manifested as well. But I was listening to Scarface, the rapper. He had an album called, the first album where they had the guns pointed. I was listening to some Eazy-E. I was listening to some Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted. You know what I'm talking about? And these projects had a very militant tone to them. I want y'all to remember, right, this whole theme that we're moving forward in, especially with hip-hop being 50 years old, is nostalgia, right? We're dealing with nostalgia. We're dealing with reflecting. You know what I mean? The retrograde just ended and whatnot, but we're still dealing with looking back to the building blocks that got us where we are, especially with hip-hop being 50 years old and the season of nostalgia being amongst us, right? So the nostalgia that I'm speaking of was the year 1990 all the way up until like 92, a very violent time, a very active time in the world. A lot of things were going on right now, right? Slapwoods, a lot of things were going on, right? However, this was when the culture was almost at its best. Classics were coming out. Music was at its finest. Okay? There were revelations going on all around the place. So I was highly inspired. The movies inspired me. Juice, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood. But going all the way back as far as I can remember, all the way to 1990, I always knew the position of me, and I always knew the position of them. We was never not aware of who the Europeans were. We were never not aware of who open oppression was. We was never not aware of police brutality. We was fighting it all the way back then. The artwork proves it. It just goes to show you that we were manifesting all kind of shit. So I ain't gonna talk too much. This is one of my masterpieces. And it's called Living Room, right? With an emphasis on living. I think I might call it the unliving room, right? So this is dancehall reggae. This is gangster hip hop. This is me and Blue Pill wilding on the trains and whatnot, being with the mob and shit like that. This is Criminal Empire. This is Mean Guy Posse. This is Flatbush. This is Biltmore Ballroom. This is Tilden Ballroom. This is the Ark. This is all that shit right here, bro. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this is a monumental time for both me and Blue Pill because Yeah, somebody said that's Tyrone, right? Because we get to showcase our art that we drew, right? Ye are rich, right? The treasures that you seek are amongst you, okay? That which you seek is amongst you. They got you on the internet trying to be like somebody else and worrying about what other people doing. What are your skills? I was gifted with the skills of art, bro. And I neglected that shit for almost 25 years. And life kicked my ass. When I tell you life kicked my ass, you have no idea. Life mollywopped me and my brother up and down, right? Life has mollywopped me and my brother up and down. It dragged us through the streets. It stepped on us. Like shorties that be wearing bonnets and slippers and be with the furry slippers to go out to fight. Right? You see the mantra, street cred. All my beef dead from Sheep's Head. If anybody went to high school with me, you know what the fuck that bar is about. So, this is my therapy. You know what I mean? Putting my artwork out into the world. Blue Pill did this with a pencil. You feel me? People be thinking that when we come into these communities, that this is our last fucking stop in life or something. Like this is our last station. Like we're just parking up to be around niggas to help being fucking therapists and be of service to get, you know, always backstabbed, always shitted on, always done dirty, always double crossed, all kind. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? So, the focus has shifted dramatically in the past, just based off of the response that I got off of my artwork when I brought it out. The resounding response that I got with this collection with people grabbing up pieces and not my, you know, they didn't care that it was $50. They was like, nah, you signing that shit and you numbering it. You making it exclusive? Let me get that. Boom. Now it's in their frames. You know what I mean? Everybody that got the artwork in their frames, send me the artwork. Send me pictures of your artwork in the frame so I could post that. We're going to make a whole page for that. Moving up to Art Basel. By the time we get to Art Basel, I'm going to have a whole display with everybody rocking their artwork. So I'm turning from the sciences more into the arts. This is almost my Dear John letter. Like, I'm not even going to waste my time doing what I was doing because I already did that. Now I have to focus on what I was gifted with. Now I have to focus on my blessings. Now I got to focus on my talent. Now I got to focus on my gift. I gave so much of myself and I never asked for anything because nobody can give me what I'm asking for in the first place. You know, I'll take that up with HR. Y'all good. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Y'all are who y'all are. Everybody knows who they are and everybody knows who they not. And it'll just stay like that. You know what I'm talking about? We got ChatGPT. All of the data is basically in the computer. So if there was ever somebody to support it, I got your name. Of the 1,000 of you, out of the 1 million, I got your name. So I'll holler at you one day. But other than being on the internet, trying to, you know, talk to people who can't listen and who don't hear, yeah, and dodging through the sentinels and playing shadow banning games with Mark Zuckerberg and all of these niggas, and people don't even understand what digital warfare is and what censorship is. And with all of that, I'm good. I'm so good. So, yeah, I'm going to be with the Blurds. I'm going to be on some island somewhere. I'm going to be in the woods. I'm going to be painting on like 10 grams of shrooms. I'm going to be in the mountains healing. And I'm not going to be in this community. You know, I'm going to get out the way. How about that? Because the shit that I see is unfixable. It's nothing that could be done. It's a den of snakes, vipers, scorpions, mongooses, turtles, snapping turtles, barracudas, orca whales, sperm whales, belugas, and wildebeest. And I'm on my hero journey. So I successfully slayed these niggas, and I'm gonna leave them to die on the hill that they standing on. But why still stand on the hill with them? I'm gone. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm out. I'm deactivating my shit coming up soon. They already blocked my YouTube page, so I'll just leave it like that. And y'all niggas will see me when you see me. You know what I mean? Because familiarity breeds contempt. I'm trying to tell you, familiarity breeds contempt. And this internet shit been making niggas too familiar, bro. This internet shit been making people real familiar, and I don't know why. So, people be, y'all have fun with y'all community. And then, keep that shit tall. You know what I mean? Keep the integrity going. Keep the doors open. Keep everybody focused. And I holla. It's time for the music. It's time for the art. It's time for the film. And nobody, damn near 1% of my followers are even into shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what people on my timeline is doing. They not doing they not doing the arts. They not doing shit on high levels. They not doing creativity. They not adding to the motherfucking to the movement. They not putting points on the boards. They not waking. I'm not waking up and niggas done drill something. Symbolically speaking, of course. You don't want to put yourself in that category where your words are gonna be used against you, right? But niggas ain't doing nothing. It's a bunch of rebel rousing, cloning. Everybody cloning each other. Everybody want to be a cloner. Everybody want to walk in the next man's footsteps. Y'all literally sat back and watched niggas clone Polite. Like 5 niggas straight clone. Like no distinction. It ain't say nothing. Y'all just went ahead for the ride. So I can't be amongst a ilk. I can't be amongst the stock. I can't be amongst a pedigree. I can't be in general population like that. Yeah, that new Nas album is fire. That news not. It don't serve me no good to be in the public with people who already crossed me on the internet in front of the world. Right? It already happened. The betrayal, the great betrayal, already took place in front of the world. The whole community turned their backs. So moving forward, what are we doing? You think I'm fucking dumb? Are you dumb? What are we doing? You think I'm gonna play inside of that den of snakes and vipers? I just stuck around long enough so niggas could see what it is versus what it's not. And if y'all stick around, then if y'all still there, if y'all still hanging around, if niggas is still sitting on their fucking hands and their laurels, waiting for more proof of shit, then what the fuck do you want me to tell you? That's on your shoulders. That's just showing the level of goofy that niggas is operating on. I'm tired of holding goofy niggas' hands, bro. That's not what I signed up for this shit to do. That's not what I'm here for. That shit don't entice me. It damn sure don't pay nobody bills. You know what I mean? It's not rewarding in one sense. Because you'll hold a goofy nigga hands and he'll do the same thing that a goofy chick will do. They'll run right back to the same person who they came running to you about. I seen that shit 1 trillion times. I seen that happen 1 trillion times. You feel me? Ross Ben, if you in the audience, you could send a request. I think it's the button right there that looks like the camera icon. It has a plus on it. If you press that, then you'll be able to request me to bring you in. Cause I done warmed it up, you know what I mean, and spoke my piece, and I'ma stand on that. And I'm not gonna talk about much anymore. I'ma just get to the teaching. So there's a lot. This is what's not going on. And I'm going to the source. I'm going to go to the source, the one who came to us about the Star Nation decades ago, right? So we're going to open up the floor for the legend, the one and only Ross Ben in the building. Peace, Star.
What?
Wagwan.
I'm thankful, man.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Living, growing,
you king.
learning, healing. You
Yes,
know? What can I say?
indeed. As we all are, right? You know,
As we all are. Yes.
love and light to you and your family. You know, as you know, I had to make a call to you. First of all, because you got things going on and whatnot. You got some motion outside. And for my New York City family, I got a large following from the tri-state area. And I wanted them to know that you'll be coming out there to both Nicholas and Newark, New Jersey at the end of September. So we're going to talk about,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, the 29th and the 30th.
right,
And
right.
I posted them uh on my feed, my IG feed, so y'all could check those flyers and get the full details, you
Right,
know?
right. But we know Ross, you're not big on the internet, IG ting and you
Nah, man.
right, yeah,
Nah, man.
that's right. Going back to the conversation I was having before you came, I was somewhat giving a I would call it a mini rant, you know, respectfully. It's Saturn Day.
Mm,
So, you know, I respect the energy of the day and I don't apologize for standing on my energy, right?
yes.
So I was saying that I don't see, you know, I see more of a pivot that would benefit me personally, just based off my station in life where I am, you know, where I am just in my station. I'm like, I want to focus more on the arts, right?
Mm,
Focus
mm,
more on the arts because I know that we live in a day and age where arts is more powerful now, right? Now we
yes.
tools at our hand, at our disposal, democratized tools that $1 million studios was using a few years ago, only they had access to. Now we got it. So I'm like, I'm going where the artists and the creatives are because just in your situation, we should have been had a group of young social media gurus,
Mm,
uh, media agencies, you know, people who know this quote unquote realm, right? They know this system, right? The same way that you know the system of stars, you know the system of precious metals, you know systems of stones, you know the systems of 5Gs, you know the systems of mounds and the energy grids and the ley lines. Where are our followers or students or contemporaries who know the system of internet marketing, social
mm,
media marketing, and
yeah.
everything needed to take information, services, and products that people such as myself and Ross Ben provide to the demographics and to the niche audience and to the quote unquote target audience around the world.
Mm,
I'm making a call for y'all. I make this call every quarter and whatnot, and I receive about three legit candidates, and that's three that I didn't have, so I'm grateful.
yes. Give thanks.
Right. So
Yeah, man. This IG thing it's not easy to navigate. And I even just see the algorithm. The algorithm is designed for, for you to, you, you know, work for it. It ain't designed to work for you.
this what
You know what I mean?
the,
It's subtle but profound.
no, what happened was they monetized. The algorithm is attached to a reward system.
Uh,
Reward system is the fact that they're cutting checks. the draw that they had, the algorithm was not powerful when we started out with YouTube takeover with 2014 and 15, when before they knew that they were cutting checks, the algorithm did not have a sway over content. The algorithm have a sway over what people talk about. The algorithm have a sway over topics. The algorithm have a sway over people who rose up in this on these online platforms, Ross.
Mm.
Algorithm, once they made it, the Maslow's, Maslow's experiment with the dog and the bell.
Right.
That's what YouTube monetization, Instagram monetization, influencer checks, all of that stuff where people are in it for the bag.
Right.
Oh no, that definitely made things change. So now the algorithm is like, no, we'll reward him and not him. We're gonna shadow ban him and we're gonna push him.
Right.
So if they had any intentions whatsoever at places like Twitter or Instagram or YouTube, where Lyle Cohen is running it, they could do industry plants. They could plant somebody in the business world. They could plant somebody in the conscious world. They could plant somebody in the rap world. They could plant somebody in entertainment, Hollywood. All of this can be controlled and contrived now with a push of a button and a manipulation of numbers. This shit is
right. But
it's really
at the same time, though, they know, like ones like yourself, like ones who magnetize attention. They need them to be a part of the equation. Even if them wanna, like on one level, shadow ban, but at the next level, use their presence to keep people's attention. Because that's what it's all about right now, is having everyone's attention,
right. Thank you.
And that's even why things is getting more outrageous. Like, I don't go on IG, but like maybe once a month just to see what's going on, right? And what I've noticed is every time I go on now, the outrageousness of characters on IG, whether it be women, you know, flaunting themselves or whatever, right? It's just getting more and more outrageous.
Right.
Everything is getting more outrageous,
Right.
Whereas maybe if you look at it every day, you won't see it. But it's because if you just checking it like once a month, it's like, man, it's it's ridiculous.
Right.
So,
you said the word
attention. Huh?
I said it with you. You said the word attention. It goes back to what I said a minute ago about the monetization and the reward factor, right? They introduced a reward metric for attention, and they made a whole economy out of it. So we exist out of the attention economy, and the attention economy is to get people's eyeballs or retained to your content by any means necessary.
Any means necessary.
So Instagram and Twitter, by allowing adult entertainment to basically exist on there, right? They purposely do that because they understand the stickiness. That's the most stickiest content in the world.
Right.
Literally, figuratively, and all the way around. That adult entertainment content, by way of analytics, have shown that's the most stickiest. So to sprinkle it throughout your quote unquote platforms and get people there in the wee hours, get people there whenever in the daytime, damn near, right? And then on the gram, that's also anything goes and whatnot. And then when they implement video from just pictures and then they turn it into the moving picture, and you would think it would be a flood of enlightenment. You would think it would be a flood of, upliftment. You would think it would be a flood of similar to what I would say we were receiving in the golden era of consciousness on YouTube before it started spiraling. You would think we would be getting some of that because
Right.
there's 100 times more people claiming that they're part of that community.
Yeah, you good now.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, and still you would think that you would see displays of that, but you don't.
Mm. Mm.
You don't see that when you tune. I mean, TikTok is one of the places that I can say information is flowing
Mm.
at a rapid pace. Short form video, 1 minute and up, body and
Right.
taking over waves of TikTok. Do you know, Ross, inside of what they call the federal penitentiary system, there is a wave of consciousness that I've been getting told about, especially in the Moorish science, but definitely in occultism, Moorish science, metaphysics, and also our quote unquote history. I want to share this thought, that this download that came to me in meditation. Then I want to get into our show today entitled the Starship Revelations, or the Star Nation Revelations. I apologize, pardon me. I want people to think about the underworld. I want people to think about the dark side of the moon. I want people to think about the mycelium network. I want people to think about the underbelly, which is the underworld. I want people to think about purgatory. I want people to think about the undercurrent, right? I want people to think Hiram Abiff, right? The African god buried alive, right? I want to put you in that mind state. This is what I'm prompting everybody to visualize, / imagine. This is where 2 million plus of our people are currently residing. I want you to think Kali Yuga. I want you to think Land of the Living Dead, the Rising of the Dead. I want you to think Wagner Group, where they made mercenaries out of prisoners. Then I want you to think about the fact that many of the teachers in our community have gone into a mentor. They've gone into the underworld. They've gone into the purgatory. But it may have effects that you might not realize because you don't have that vision. It's not going to be a total negative. It's not going to be something that you may think it is, okay? The fact that you have some very powerful dark triad personalities going into the system, okay? Going into the system, it is going to create a whole wave inside the prison systems, both federal and state. In the next 10 years, people that are going to be coming home from those systems are going to be completely awakened to a level of consciousness that they did not have when they went in there, okay? Think rising of the underworld. And I just want to leave that vision with everybody. And we'll continue on that. We'll go further into that, you know, maybe on Wednesday when we're doing this class and whatnot. But I just wanted to paint that picture. But my good brother Ross Ben, so much is happening around the world. It is hard to keep up with the news. Like, for real, if you put your phone down, you may literally miss out on world events. Okay? Currently, since we went on Stone Mountain, or what we call Crystal Mountain, seven strong ago, on 9/9, 8 major flood events across 4 continents. Major earthquakes, Morocco. Major fires, Greece. Burning globally. Canada's still on fire. There's fires all over, okay? We know about Lahaina,
Mm.
Pele, right? Pele's moving around. There was a heat wave in Europe called Cerebus or Cerebus, which is the dog from the underworld that they said is an entity that descends from the subterranean, from the underworld, from the gates of hell. And these fires that we're seeing taking place that they're calling wildfires is basically the breath of that dragon and whatnot. We're seeing fires pop up everywhere, and they named it heat wave Cerebus.
Mm.
We're in 2023. You said a year ago, not a year ago, but in January on YouTube, it's cataloged, it's timestamped. We did our first quantum quickening show with you, me and Blue, on Melanin Monday. You talked about 2023 is going to have more changes in this year than in any year before it. I'm not finished. You said some other things I want to remind you of, because this is about identifying not just the scholars amongst us, not just the griots amongst us, not just the orators amongst us, because we know in hindsight, based off of what we're seeing as a community, that's not enough. We have to look forward to the ones who are actually projecting into the future, the ones who are on point with their prophecies, the ones who are on point with their information, by going back on that information and showing and proving and being like, nah, the God is on point. He on his square. Let's support that. Let's get behind that. Let's stop treating our teachers and whatnot like we're novelties. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
So you said on the show that there's a synthetic timeline that you're identifying. You also talked about the divergent timelines that you're identifying. You also talked about the misnomer, what they call the Mandela effect, actually being an effect of the Philadelphia experiment. And we happen to be in the 40-year window of this quote unquote incidents starting in what year was that? 53?
43.
43 with the
And then
Philadelphia experiment,
83.
and then in 83 with the Montauk Project. And now we're in 2023 with the what? With the 50th anniversary of him.
Mm.
I said it before, Montauk is Long Island. In 83, Long Island is Kings County. Kings County is Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island. So when you do the quote unquote hip hop review, you got to add Kings County into the mix because it's not separate. So all of the top MCs, don't separate them and put them against each other. Give me all of the artists out of Brooklyn. Give me all of the artists out of Long Island. Give me all of the artists out of Queens. That's Kings County. So that's what was popping off in 83.
Mm.
So I'm not saying that was the time portal, but that's the soundtrack.
Right.
Right? So
right.
Here we are in the age of AI, where the first quarter, second quarter was dominated by AI, which is artificial intelligence. Third quarter and fourth quarter will be dominated by AI, which is alien intelligence.
Mm.
We saw that there was a revelation that could go down in time on Tupac Amaru's birth, on his death date, which was September the 13th, 2023. In Mexico, they unveiled the bodies of two petrified, fossilized aliens, or what they call them extraterrestrials. Can you please, for the family that's out there who are curious as to what the hell is going on, can you please expound on that and give us more insight into the Star Nation revelations?
Absolutely. Well, first, we should mention, we should reason on the brother who brought forth the revelations, Jaime Maussan, right?
How do you spell that so my researchers could look it up?
Jaime, Jaime, Maussan, Mousson, I think that's how his last name is spelled.
Okay.
Jaime Maussan, right? So Jaime Maussan to Mexico is like Stephen Greer up here in the U.S. You know
Wow.
how
Okay.
Stephen Greer is kind of like the spearhead of what them would call disclosure, right?
Yes. Just yes.
Jaime Maussan is, you know, him a big man
I'm a
in
big man.
UFOlogy. Him a big man,
Yes. I'm a
and
big stepper.
how relevant for us, for we,
For
right?
we. Yes. For the I.
If you remember in the like mid-90s when Farrakhan emerged as the leader of the NOI, right?
The reemergence.
He,
Farrakhan.
right, right. The re-emerging Farrakhan in the mid-90s, he was real big
Right.
on UFOlogy and the mothership. And he had a conference. I want to say it was in Chicago, but I'm not sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Farrakhan had a big UFO
Okay.
conference,
Okay.
right?
I'm a raw search that.
Yeah, Ross searched this. And, you know, it was international, man. He had people from all around the world. It was a big thing.
Okay.
And who helped him organize it and who was like the where you say someone who was from that UFOlogy community that
Mm-hmm.
could bring the right people together and,
Right.
you know, make it
You know
happen.
the.
It was Jaime Maussan.
Okay.
It was
That was his.
Jaime Maussan. So, you know, this man been in it for a minute. He had a great uh, TV show
Yes. What was,
in Mexico. What's up?
you know the name of his show?
Don't. I don't recall the name of it, but like like YouTube shifted,
It did.
right? But there was a time when you could have very productive searches for,
Topics.
or even footage, you know, UFO footage,
Right.
right?
Rub the crap.
This was before there were channels which seemed like their whole thing was to promote uh, a computer generated footage
Right.
or
Right.
doctored footage. You know what I mean?
That,
To throw
right.
confusion
They
in
let
it,
you up. Mm-hmm.
and so it seemed like there was a shift where before you could have very productive searches, right? But then they created these algorithms that blocked actual footage, right? And then threw up all of this, you know, computer generated false footage,
Right.
right? But before that shift, the source on YouTube for like mind blowing footage was Jaime Maussan's TV show.
Mm.
You know? Yeah. And he would have not only would like, because he would be like he was like the UFO investigative reporter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He wouldn't just show the footage, but he'd go there, he'd interview the people, he'd gather the evidence, you know, uh, and he also would interview like other experts,
Right.
other key researchers in, you know, for lack of a better word, UFOlogy, right?
Right.
So he's a big man in it, right?
Right.
And what happened was he took some archaeological evidence that was found in Mexico and testified before what would be like Mexico's Congress. That,
Right.
yeah, they done unearthed aliens, right?
But that was him in
But now,
revealing.
oh, go ahead. What you gonna say?
That was him in the revealing.
Yes,
Okay.
this is
All
him.
right. Let's.
You know, that's why I'm speaking on this man. This is who, you know, just to give you some context of who this person is going before the Mexican government. It would be very parallel if Stephen Greer
Went before.
had congressional testimony, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Because how he has a track record, you know, this was the man, those are familiar. Stephen Greer organized the Disclosure Project. He was, you know, the mind behind it.
Right.
And yeah, that footage, most of it is available on YouTube. Yeah, you got to check it. You know, this man.
They had Steve.
Go ahead. What?
They had Stephen Greer on Vlad TV, which feeds a lot of the hip hop audience.
Okay.
Yeah, they had him talking about Disclosure about a week or two ago. So
What?
yeah,
I gotta check that.
Yeah, I send you the link, but please continue.
All right. So, but now, all right. So you got the backdrop on Jaime Maussan, but now there's something else that we have to consider, and it's interesting. You had talked about the underworld and Aminta.
Yes.
Because there is a legal distinction. If you look up alien, excuse me. If you look up alien and extraterrestrial in Black Law's dictionary, there's a distinction.
Right.
Because not all aliens are extraterrestrial.
Look.
And a lot of what we would, you know, say, quote unquote, are aliens, particularly what they call those grays, the short and tall grays.
Right.
I would say they're inner earth beings.
Right.
More so than
aliens
coming from the heavens. Yeah. They come from the underworld.
Right. More.
So I'm bringing that up because I have not seen clear images of these archaeological finds of Jaime Maussan, but when you study the ancients texts, right, about Aminta, the West, where we are now, this was the first underworld.
Yep.
And you had to come over here to get into the second and ultimately up to the seventh underworld, right? And it's very possible that petrified archaeological remains of an alien nature found in Mexico, they could be underworld, underworld entities. They ain't necessarily coming from the heavens,
right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I wanted to mention that.
Mm-hmm. Because remember, the conversation about the Twa, or the conversation about the stick people and whatnot in the forest. You know, the little people.
Yes.
Right. Somebody said I got the Smurf hat, Papa Smurf hat. Like the height of the Smurfs, the Twa, the pygmy. You know what I mean? When I see when I see those figurines that they were showing, those look like Kachinas, first of all. Those
Mm,
look Kachinas, first of all. They didn't look like aliens. They look more like Kachinas, and they look like more, like you said, into Earth beings. And not extraterrestrial, not extra terrestrial, inner Earth. Remember,
yes.
because New York is going through an alien invasion right now
Uh,
with the migrants. Those are aliens.
uh, uh.
So AI, this is the year of AI because Eric Adams said that the alien invasion was going to crush New York, going
Wow.
to sink it.
Uh.
Where did you ever see something like that? Where does that make sense? Like, how is that? Where does that even happen? I never saw that in all of our waking years. They never opened up the borders fully. Like, when you in the train station in New York and somebody opened the gate up on 42nd Street at 2 a.m.,
Mm,
you see the flood of people that go through there, the fare beaters. So you
mm.
mean to tell me that they're just opening up all of the border gates and then they're flying them, Spirit Airlines, and they're busing them and dropping them off in front of hotels and in places in New York where they're getting housing, stipends, and jobs? Come on,
Right.
man.
Right.
Yeah, this let's start focusing on, the Star Nation, but also the Star Nation being, what we know it is, inner Earth, places that on this Earth that they're not even allowed to go to, you
Mm.
outer Earth, all of the places that we know exist, that we need to find a way to get to those places. Because when you see shit like this falling apart, this is akin to a castle beginning to crumble.
Mm. Well, there's definitely now just because those petrified remains Jaime Maussan revealed to the Mexican government may come from the inner world, that doesn't mean that the star nations haven't been crazy active,
Right.
right? And uh, man, we got to be vigilant. We got to be vigilant. This is again going back to this YouTube confusion over being able to pull up real footage,
Right.
okay? Because when I made The Heavens Are Open, which is on my Rospin 188 YouTube channel, y'all can check it out,
Yeah, check that out.
right?
Open.
The Heavens Are Open, which was filmed at Nicholas Brooklyn, where we're gonna be. What's that on the
30th.
30th? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, plug your events, Ross.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nicholas Brooklyn on the 30th, and I'll be in Newark, man, with Brother Divine and Sister Kofunya. If Kofunya's plugged in.
Yeah, Kafunya. Yeah, drop a link. Shout out to Kafunya.
Yeah,
Salute Divine
we're
and
gonna
everybody,
bring
and Nicholas, Monique and them.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. We're gonna bring Kofunya on I know she more time be on this IG thing, but
right.
we'll
Somebody
bring her on,
in a
drop
request.
them details.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
The good news about what we're gonna be doing for a whole month together, please.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. We're gonna drop that too as well. That because this is
It's
relevant. This is why I'm talking about this, because before YouTube really started putting all these filters in place where you couldn't easily find actual footage,
right.
right? I was able, I was studying this thing. I was studying it, right?
Right.
And able to actually identify and distinguish the type of craft that you would see,
The
right?
diamond shape in the cigars.
The pyramid, right? What them called at that time, the pyramid UFO, which was actually an octahedron, right? Two pyramids base to base, right? And then, right, the cigar shaped UFO.
Right.
Then you also had the orbs.
The orb.
So these,
Right.
the orbs. So these were the three craft that, from what I could understand, those are Star Nation craft,
Right.
right? But then you got these other craft, particularly what they would call the disc-shaped UFO,
Right.
right? The ones they were like the original UFOs, you know, the
Right.
disc shape, and then the wing or V shape UFOs.
Like the
Now, yeah, it'll be like a V, yes. So now, if you ask me, those, when you see those, more than likely,
government.
either one of two things. They're craft of inner earth beings,
Right.
or what they call reverse engineered technology
Right.
of, I'm not going to say U.S. government, but I'll just say world governments,
Right.
you know, and yeah, you know, we got footage of them things being uh, like flying with other military craft, you know, like they being what they call that? When
Mach 10,
say what?
Mach 2, Mach 3, Mach 4.
No, like when an airplane is like flying next to another craft, make sure it get where it's going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. They're like chaperoning it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there are definitely governments with conventional military are working with these craft, right? And
Yeah.
that's the thing too. We got the foot. Like it's one thing to say it, but this I was able to scoop all this footage before YouTube got real tricky with the
Right.
algorithms and their filters
Right.
and these other for what well we know the reason, other sites throwing out all of these doctored and created footage
Right.
to throw confusion.
Confusion. Right. I saw agent activity.
Yeah, so I feel like it's most important right now to be able to, like, if you see, what's that new acronym they got for it? UAP or
Yeah, UAP.
UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. You see something, you need to be able to identify and know what you're seeing. You need to know if they friend or foe, you know?
Most definitely. You damn right.
So that's you know, that's what I look forward to building with y'all, you know, with this thing.
On Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So, family, on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we are going to be preparing a pivot in time. Okay. And that's going to be the first master lecture that we'll be doing on Patreon with the good brother Ross Ben. We have our good brother on the platform for a whole month, and we're going to be doing a 4 lecture series for the month. 4 lecture series. The first one will be a pivot in time. And we'll be getting into a lot of things that he broke down. We'll be talking about Pluto Aquarius energy. We're going to be talking about the divergent timelines. We're going to be talking about the star nations. He has footage. He has a lecture. Then we'll move forward and talk throughout the throughout the month course on Patreon. And it's also available as well if you just want to get a straight up ticket on KTLUniversity.com. Go there. The link is right there that I have pinned, and it's also in the bio. But we'll also be talking about the moving down the line. We'll be getting into the rocks of all nation, dealing with crystal currency, right? Because that is of utmost importance, especially as we see governments, the all type of quote unquote institutions move towards precious metals like gold and like silver, but also gemstones, things of that nature, crystal currency. And the good brother will be teaching about economic alchemy. We'll also be diving into free your mind and your ass will follow. So we'll be taking a dive into culture civilizations, ley lines, gritters, mound gritters, you name it. It's a plethora. We have a walking library right here. The brother, I told him he's a triple threat because he has a lot of different topics that he covers, but it just so happens that everything that he is an expert on right now is at play. Okay? It is at
What's
play. It's
relevant?
relevant. Everybody that's on the Indian wave in America, if you're not visiting the mounds, if you're not doing ceremony on the mounds, if you're not tapping into the mounds, if you're not unlocking the mounds, if you're not on those grids and whatnot being active, then you might not necessarily reap the benefits off of activated DNA based off of the rising up that you see. That remember, when something is rising up, you can't stop that. You can't stop steam from rising up.
Mm.
So what's rising up in the people is the spirit in the people. It is time. The veils are being lifted. The quote unquote the Georgia Guidestone, the walls are falling, the walls of Jericho are falling, proverbial, symbolically, and everywhere around. The veils are being lifted, the seals are being broken. So what
Mm.
people that was not able to see, it is being revealed to you. This is the Kali Yuga timeline that we're in. This is the Great Revelation timeline. This is post Great Conjunction timeline. This is also post Pluto return timeline. And this is also what we see as a quote unquote a timeline that's programmable, you know. But it was also prophesied by our ancestors of multiple schools of thought, of multiple quote unquote schools of thought and knowledge. They talked about these very days that we're in right now. So nothing should be of any surprise to anybody outside of how do I take what I know and what I'm seeing and make that work for me rather than work against me. Because it ain't no fun when it's working against you. So yes, y'all, Wednesday, we are proud to have our good brother as our premier teacher on the Patreon channel. We've had some legends in the building. Now we raising the bar. We got Ross Ben, 8 KTL alumni, to do what he does, and that's teach the people. So thank you all the supporters. As you know, the YouTube channel has been censored. I would just say that they censored it with a strike. So we're not really able to do anything there. We're shifting a lot of our operations to Patreon anyway. There's a free tier that's available. So if anybody wants to get on the Patreon, go there for free, sign up, let's get your information, lock in. That platform is way better than Instagram. It gives you way more information. There's no noise over there, and we get right to the teaching. And there's libraries of information and master classes that we already have done with Chicago, Crypto, and Ra'aku. Yes, brother.
Yes, I. And
Yes, indeed.
yo, right. On the 29th of this month,
Yes.
we're going to be in Newark,
The 29th, you said?
the 29th.
Of September. Yes,
Yes. And
indeed.
then the 30th, we're going to be at Nicholas, Brooklyn. All right. We're going to be dropping a book signing on one of my latest books that I haven't really, given it the attention due.
Right.
My knowledge of the Nomo.
No more gods. Yeah.
Knowledge of the Nomos. So, yeah, look, because that's the thing. If you decode
Somebody said
Dogon,
what time?
say what?
They want to know what time is your event.
What I would say is look at my IG post. I don't have the flyers right in front of me.
Right.
Look on my IG post and you'll see the flyers with all the information you need, right?
Right, right.
But the Dogon, if you decode the Dogon teachings contained in the Pale Fox and Conversations with Ogo Tameli properly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they reveal all these things we talking about.
Right.
Right. So
referring
that's what we're gonna get into, and I'm looking forward to focusing more on this work because I think it's important because a lot of the debate about where the Dogon got their information and who are the Dogon and all of that, yeah, I think we solve a lot of it. And I think we give the keys to decoding Dogon cosmology. How did Dogon relate to the cosmogonies and cosmologies of ancient Kemet? Yeah. We get into all of that. So I'm ready to focus some attention on that. I've enjoyed the journey of the Great Mystery Philadelphia.
Even I would say, Rasbin, even with the fact that on a geopolitical scale, Mali is going through a revolution right now.
Yes.
So those spirits, those Dogon spirits, right, in real time are activated on that land.
Yes.
With them kicking out colonizers, it's a spiritual thing. France got kicked out of Africa, and then Morocco, who France is directly tied in bed with, had an earthquake. And then Libya, who France also had their quote unquote hands on. They had a catastrophic flood. France put the lights out of the Moors, right? It's going. Turkey is Constantinople. Turkey is the Ottoman Empire, right? Morocco was going through it. France is going through it. Algeria, Libya, right? And the good brother Burna Boy, who is an Afrobeat artist, he's dropping an album called Gaddafi.
And he was just in Jamaica with Sizzler.
Turning it up.
Yeah.
So that energy that these messiahs or messianic ones, similar to when Bob was on this, right? These Afrobeat concerts where they're doing 80,000, 100,000, and they're rallying their people up. The stadium action in South Africa where the party is riling their people up. The soccer games where people are being riled up. All of that is transferred. That all turned into hurricanes. That all turned into all of these quote unquote calamities, heat waves, and all of that. We need to stand and realize what's going on and what we're seeing and whatnot. We can't discredit the power of what's on the continent. We can't discredit people on the continent and what they mean to the power of the grid and whatnot. We can't minimize that.
Yeah. And just to tie it in with this these Dogon teachings, because it was was the Society of the High Priest that felt like when these two French anthropologists showed up in the 60s,
Yes.
right? I want to say it was maybe even 63, ironically, right? They felt like, you know what? Now, we know, like, Society of High Priests, their teachings, right? You would have had to have gone through mad initiation
40,
and rite of
right.
passage to
Rites of passage.
to earn the opportunity to receive these teachings, right? In 63, they felt like, yeah, we just gonna drop all our tapes on these two anthropologists. The anthropologists telling them, yo, we're not gonna alter, edit, or manipulate anything you share with us.
Right.
We just gonna, you know, lay it bare as you tell us.
Right.
So it was on that condition the high priest dropped their tapes, right? And, you know, the Dogon do have international acclaim because in dropping these tapes, they revealed to them science on the Sirius star system that scientists weren't able to verify until they had invented X-ray telescope, you know?
Right.
So, right. That got everyone all hyped, like, oh, how do they know this? Where they get this information from,
Right.
right? But what amazes me the most is, you know, them drop 2 books worth of information. Hale Fox is like 460 pages, right?
Right.
It ain't seem like no one was inspired to see what other tapes they was dropping.
Mm. Welcome.
Because Dogon didn't just break down the Sirius star system, to be honest. They broke down the whole cosmos,
Right.
all of creation, you know?
They was giving
The nature of our galaxy, the nature of the galactic core,
right.
the nature of the Milky Way star spiral, you know?
They knew that information.
Why our solar system is a single, appears to be a
Right.
single sun star system and not, well, actually, we are
Binary.
a binary star system according to the Dogon, you know, and they explain how it all went down. So, you know, their cosmology, if you can decode it properly, is amazing, you know.
Beautiful.
They say the moon is how we got here. You know, the moon is, you talk about a starship
Right.
or a mothership. The moon was the mothership,
Right.
you know?
The dark side.
And the moon,
Of
well, that's why there is a dark side of the moon, because it's parked, you know? The moon is like maybe only one or 2 or 3 other objects in our entire solar system
mm-hmm.
that has no rotation.
No mobility. Right.
No, you know, it doesn't spin on an axis.
Mm.
Yeah. They explain, and you ask why? They explain all of that, man. It's, you know, but you got to even have the intention. You have to first study some astrophysics, study some cosmology, you know, like the nature of the celestial sphere, right?
Yeah.
And then read the Pale Fox and match it up, you
Right.
know? So that's what we attempt to do, man. And we also look for cosmologies and teachings in the Nile Valley that correspond
To what the
to, yeah,
Dogon said.
yeah. And there's two in particular. One is the Kansu cosmogony, and the other
Okay.
is the teachings found in what them call Hermopolis or uh, the temples of Tahuti, and
Yeah.
these were all in what's called Thebes, Luxor, Epet Isut,
Right.
you
Right.
Waset.
Well said.
These is all one temple complex,
Mm.
several temples kind of built into one
One.
Templeopolis,
Right.
and
Right.
it's known, right? The Greeks called it Luxor, Thebes. Kemet, it was called Epet Isut, most holy of places. Also Waset, you know. So here you find the teachings that the Dogon preserved, you know, and yeah, like we show that you can read some of the Kansu cosmogony, right? The text that was preserved on the Temple of Kansu and at Ipeti Sut, and then read the words of Ogo Tameli and the conversations of Ogo Tameli, and they saying the same thing, you know? So it ain't no mystery. It ain't just Rospin making this up, you know?
Facts. Yo,
So,
I I hope the people are taking notes that are hearing this. Like the brother is literally going in, giving you some information that is shifting, to shift your whole reality. And for my raw searchers out there to use Sybil AI, which is Seven Beaumont's system, and also Claude, Falcon, and Chat GPT. I challenge anybody. I have a reward for you. I have a signed print. This is I sign this print and put it in and ship it to you if you're able to take the information that he just shared about everything that he just said and take that to Midjourney and create some images, generate some images and hit me on a DM and I got you. But
mm,
please continue.
yeah. So now, I mean, I'm just giving y'all a taste of what's in Knowledge of the Nomo. This is why I think it's important because, you have authors like Robert Temple, who wrote a book called The Serious Mystery.
Yeah.
And you have other, what do you call them, for lack of a better word, Eurocentric authors, right? Who
Right.
the Dogon they create all this mystery around them. How they get
Right.
this information, and they come up with these
These theories,
fanciful theories.
right?
Yeah.
Wacky ass ideas of a European's mind
Exactly.
to interpret our greatness and our
Exactly.
history and
Exactly.
our primordial place as placeholders.
Exactly. So this
Just
is
to call for your interest.
my humble attempt to like solve all the mysteries,
Right.
or at least give the keys to solve them. And then an honest attempt to decode more of Dogon cosmology, just not as it relates to the Sirius star system, but our entire galaxy. And
We need
you know,
that. We need that breakdown. That is invaluable information, bro. I promise you, the people that I'm talking, that I'm rocking with, that's studying the Dogon, shit that they've disclosed to me, I think the people will really benefit off of a translation of that, because they hear Dogon, Dogon this, Dogon that, but I don't think they know.
yeah. And I even say in the book, is this is like my attempt to decode their cosmology. And even if some of the symbolism and what I'm decoding it is wrong, it's
Right,
still the right example of
right.
what we should be attempting to do. You
Thank
know?
you. Thank you.
So
You give the
that's
method, right?
yeah, it's right there. Yeah. And I already said it in short, where what we got to do is study astronomy, study cosmology, study the nature of black holes, the nature of, you know, binary star systems and all that stuff, right? Hydrogen.
Yeah.
What, you know, hydrogen is the most abundant element in creation, and its name means to produce water. And
Mm.
we know the Nomo were these water beings,
Right.
these celestial water beings.
Right.
It all, you know, that's what I'm saying. We got to study this. We got to study astrophysics, study the nature of the heavens while we're reading these, what the Dogon, because if we believe Griol and Detterling, who were the anthropologists that worked with the Dogon in the 60s, right?
Right.
They didn't add, detract, delete, edit, nothing. They just laid it bare. And it appears so too, you
It
know?
does.
It does. Yeah.
So
You
it looks
know?
untampered based off of your raw search.
Yeah, well, I'm sure some things are what you would say lost in translation, right? I'm sure there's that. Like, just there's probably some concepts in the high priest's mind that the limits of English don't fully allow them
Right.
to articulate that thing, right?
Right. Right.
But,
That.
but you know, given that to the best of their ability, it appears like they just shared the tapes, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. And so
And do they have access to audio of that? The audio tapes, by any chance? Is that like a collectible?
that I'm not aware of.
Hmm.
Now I'm gonna tell you, The Pale Fox is a hard read, brother.
Yeah, it is.
It's a hard read.
It is. But when you go back
So,
to it, it's a better read.
and what I will say is that that's another function of my book, Knowledge of the Nomo. Let's
Right.
say you want to read The Pale Fox, and,
Right.
and you're stuck at page 43, and it's a 460-page book, and it's just like, what? What am I reading?
Right.
You know, I think this is the keys to help you be able to better understand, you know?
Right. So
And I
your book.
would even say start conversations with Ogo Tameli is a better start,
Right.
you know? Start with that.
Okay.
Finish with Pale Fox, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's the route. And then where does your book fit in that timeline? The second book?
Conversations with Ugo Tameli.
No, your book.
What about my book?
If somebody was learning about the Dogon and they were reading the books in alignment, you're saying start with conversations first?
Yeah, I think my book will help you decode that a lot too.
Okay, so start with your book first and then get into the other two.
There you go. Hey, hey, hey.
Right, right. Because your book is like a
It's the
legend.
keys.
It's the
If you
key, right?
want to,
It unlocks things.
it unlocks things
Right.
because I studied them for decades, brother.
Mm,
I studied them from the 90s,
okay.
you know, and some Dogon cosmology is contained in Rocks of Ages, a new edition, right?
Of course, of course. I mean, you've been sprinkling, you've been teasing us with this Dogon information through all of your publications. You know what I mean? Through the whole run. So I'm very excited. You know what I mean? I'm enthusiastic that you finally got this out. But not just that you got it out, that you're gonna be teaching on it. You're gonna be giving it your wisdom. You're gonna be diving into it, unpacking it, decoding
Yes,
it, laying it
yes,
out.
yes.
That's when the people really benefit off of that. So yeah, man, I look forward to
Yeah, I
that.
feel it's time.
It
It's
is
time,
time.
because
Look,
I wrote it in 2018. No, hold up, man. It been out a minute.
right, right.
Not 2018, maybe 2021. It's been out a couple of
A couple
years.
of years, and
It's
then
been
we
out.
had that slow. We had the little plan, the thing that slowed everything
There you
down.
go. That's what happened. It got
It got
The
caught up in that cycle.
pandemic, and also too, really, that great mystery, Philadelphia had a lot of my attention, man. You know,
Rightfully so.
because the ancestries up here
Hmm.
in the streets of Philly, I couldn't walk no block without them ancestors in my ear, like, yo, you gotta tell our story.
Right, right,
Look at this. Boop, boop, boop.
right,
Like 6th Sense. I was like the little kid in 6th Sense.
right,
I'm seeing
right,
I
yeah,
wasn't seeing them, I was hearing them.
right,
And so they had me on all these different missions,
right.
you know? And that information, uh,
I got charged in Philly too.
you said, oh yeah, 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 yeah. So now, but you know what? I done I feel like I feel like I've told a lot of them stories. If I don't tell no more,
Right.
I done said enough, you know? And right, I done put all this heart into this knowledge of the Nomo and hasn't cultivated, hasn't promoted it, haven't got it out to the people.
Right.
So that's it's time, and I'm
Timing
looking
is
forward.
timing is everything, and we here. You know, I can't wait. You know, Patreon is waiting for you. They excited. They can't wait to get your wisdom. Brooklyn is waiting for you. Jersey is waiting for you. The world is waiting for you, and we're glad that you have arrived to give us the information for these times, especially dealing with the UFOs, the aliens, and the Star Nation. That is going to be a very dominant conversation, I believe, moving into the next quarters, the third and the fourth, going into
Yes,
24.
yes.
You know,
I'm because look, even the Dogon angle on it.
right? The Dogon,
So
right? That's what I would love to hear. And look, going back to what I'm saying about timing versus you promoting the book in 2021 versus promoting it right now
mm,
when what is
mm,
what are we seeing, what are we witnessing collectively going on with the oceans, right? Because we're talking about the Dogon, so we're talking about the waters, we're talking about the deep waters. So everybody got into the Titan, right? Going down to the
Right.
quote unquote level of the Titanic. More people learned about the depths of the ocean in that week. More people learned about how deep the ocean really is in that week. More people learned more about the Titanic. More people learned more about Titan. More people learned more about Prometheus. More people learned more about aquatic type of things. And that started a whole wave of oarfish being found and whatnot. Those are
Right.
fish that they say if you begin to see those, that's an omen, right? Then you had mermaids washing up. Then you had a three-eyed, they just found a shrimp with three eyes or something and whatnot. There's all kind of things washing up from the what?
From the
Subterranean, the
depths of the
underworld,
ocean.
right? The
Yes.
theme of 2023 is the underworld rising up in hip hop. The underworld is taking over. Ratchet culture is rising up. The gutter
Mm,
gutter shit is what's the
mm,
frequency. It's what's
mm.
rising. It's the sewage. It's the septicness. It's and then like we say, multiple people are falling into the underworld, getting charged, locked up, convicted and whatnot, going into purgatory, going into shallow graves, going into the underworld, being buried alive and whatnot. Then you have all of these fires that are destroying things. Then you have earthquakes. Then you got floods. But the floods came as a result of the dams breaking.
Mm,
All this happened since we stepped on that mountain.
mm.
Not to say that we got nothing to do with that. This is just a
It's the
timeline. This is how
timing.
compact the quantum quickening really is. So when we came forward and we talked about the quantum quickening, can you talk about what you talked about in January about 2023 being a year where more events will happen in this year than other years and how you see it?
Right. Well, in retrospect, and why I say that, because when we opened up this year, we said there was going to be a pivotal year. There was going to be a day where, like, what's going on around that date is,
Right.
it was August 12th. And right around that date, I think it was the 11th when the Maui fires kicked off. So that was the day before that.
Right.
Which I will say did feel like a direct end of certain timelines. How to say that was the ancient capital of the
Hawaii Kingdom.
Hawaiian monarchy, and
Right.
that all them ancient relics and ancient
Yeah.
symbols of the monarchy's power and legacy was
Right.
destroyed,
It was
you
all
know?
destroyed. Right.
But I will say from that time, there's been such, like you say, a quickening and
Big.
cataclysmic events. And like, what timeline are we on? I found myself asking that often. Like,
Right.
man, the things we're seeing, the change, the woo, you know? And I will even just say personally, in my own life, I've been, and I know I'm not alone. I guess that's just why I'm saying it, right?
Right.
Like trial and tribulation has stepped up a notch.
Right.
I see everyone is wrestling with the judgment of
Right.
these times.
Look, everyone that I know is going through the dark night of the soul.
Mm,
Everyone that I know is dealing with judgment. Everyone that I know is dealing with, the family aspect. Everyone that I know is in mourning or some type of grievance.
yes,
This is a very, very strenuous and challenging birthing period for all of us. This birthing period, this period of birth, this period of reset, this period of change, this period of upgrade, this period of ascension. It's not easy.
It
The
ain't
shift,
easy.
the paradigm shift has not been easy. Our DNAs have been disrupted. Many of
Mm,
us. I've been
mm,
in places that, has just had me contemplating, what is the future even gonna look like? Just based off of the convergence of everything that's going on, because you're really gonna be able to see what's going on in 23 in 2 years. That's when it unfolds. Like everything that's going on in 23 happened in 21,
mm.
and it unfolded in 23. So we're gonna see the results of what we're doing right now in 25. So it's important that you readjust or you pivot if you're not doing what needs to be done, because as you can see in this quantum quickening, the clock is ticking, tick tock is going faster than you can't keep up with the days. You can't catch the time.
Right.
So time is an
Yeah.
asset. So if your asset is running out faster, if your asset, fuck inflation, if your asset is inflated, then we have to begin to figure out how to work smarter and not harder, how to take advantage of this fast Silver Surfer this multiverse, like Destiny, this multiverse that we're in. There's ways to master this. There's ways to master your variants are tapping in. Who saw the Spider-Man animated movie? That's what's going down. There's a multiverse, there's different versions of you, there's variants of you. One day you're gonna meet all of them, right? The us being in the clouds, us being in cyberspace, us being these mystical figures and whatnot that exist on people's phones. You understand? That's the beginning stages of mythology and myth making and
Mm,
godhood and God making.
mm,
If y'all don't
mm.
understand how deep that is, just stick around and you'll see it, right? These are black mirrors, these tablets, these big screen. They got us on 100-inch screens. They got us on jumbotrons, right?
Yes.
We live in a
Well, yo,
very
Star, I'm looking out my window. It's beautiful up here today. The sun, it's like about 80 degrees, low humidity.
right,
I can't resist it no more, man.
right. You gotta go outside.
I gotta go outside, man.
All right, definitely. We had a beautiful conversation. The fam was in the building. They loved it. Y'all
Give
show
thanks.
yes, give thanks. Show the God some love. Purchase his courses, his tickets, whatever he's doing, his books. You know what I mean? Let's show our master teacher some love, some light, and we support with our dollars, not just with our
Mm,
words, because words are not action. The action, God and love is an action verb. So let's start showing love, because love is what's next.
yes, I.
Because everybody is pulling through and pushing through. You dig?
Mm, mm.
But with that being said, man, Saturday Night Live or Saturday Live with Brother Ross Ben. All right, the prelude to the upcoming Wednesday lecture that me and this good brother will be doing. Patreon only. It'll be on Zoom. It is the beginning of our Patreon 4-week master courses. All right. So hit up the link in the bio or go to ktluniversity.com, 8 p.m. on Zoom. It'll be recorded. The good brother is doing a lecture entitled The Pivot in Time. All right. The Pivot in Time. Okay. Going to be talking about the shifts that's going on, the different timelines, the synthetic timeline, the divergent timeline. We'll be talking about the NOMO. We'll be talking about the Star Nation. We'll be talking about that and so much more. Be in the building. We'll see y'all on Patreon. I ain't even gonna be on Instagram like that, but we'll have the flyer posted. And I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Love and light.
Yes, I. Love,
All right.
respect to
Love.
everyone. Salute.
Peace.